It's time for another Out of Bounds Rewind with Bo Bounds on ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
Let's look at what all's transpired at Mississippi State. I'm going to let you pick. I'm just going to run through the guys. All right, so you got Barbay's in, Will Friend's in. Dave Turner is in. Bumpus is in. I can't remember the tight end. Blake, do you remember the dude from Syracuse? Okay, I should. Let me know when you find
Mike
it. Schmidt.
Dude, Mike Schmidt.
Mike Schmidt
how do you not remember Mike Schmidt, dude? You grew up in the 80s with me.
I know.
Mike Schmidt.
I had all his baseball cards, third baseman for the Philadelphia Phillies. And he played with Steve Carlton and Pete Rose. Damn it, I forgot about that. All right. Anyway, I'm going to let you let it rip. Oh, and Greg Knox being added as I think more of an offensive and special teams analyst. Anyway, let it rip.
Okay, let's start with Greg. Okay, let's just start. I mean, because look, I know Greg's numbers very, very, very well, and for everybody listening, just a real quick high view level. A decade ago, my data partner and I started mapping out every coach in college football. If you wore a headset, you're in our system, and it's 15 years deep. So there's not a name that I don't know that's in our spreadsheets, and he's graded. So Greg Knox is probably the best multi-tool unit coach in college football. Best multi-tool unit coach in college football. This guy has a top 30% grade as a running back coach. He has a top 30% grade as a special teams coach, and he's been doing it for over a decade. I love this guy. I can't tell you how hard I pushed for him to be the running back / special teams coach at Nebraska last year. I thought that was because he was best available. And then he went to Buffalo. And I always had him stashed in the back of my pocket of that guy anybody can go get. You know, if I come across somebody that needs running back special teams, that's my guy, right? And I'm talking number one on the draft board. And then I talked to you, you know, then I saw the announcement, and I gave you a call, and I didn't realize how strong of a connectivity he had to Starkville and Mississippi State. And I'm like, holy crap, you know. So I'm excited for Greg because he's kind of, as you'd probably put it, he's come home.
Right.
You know, where I mean, imagine you get to be happy and coaching college football.
That's rare.
Right. You know, because look, all these guys, almost vast majority of them are looking for the next best job. They're always looking to move up. A lot of people think, oh, they love our program. Not the way you do, man. Never the way you do. You know, it's a business. These guys can get fired on a dime, and I mean on a dime. Heck, they don't even have to have that. I mean, look at Virginia. Bronco Mendenhall quit, told his guys the next day, and all they had left is 90 days on their contracts. That's it. You know, just jump them too. So that's the way it works. So Greg Knox, I love that acquisition in the numbers, especially given the sample size we have. Now, another big sample size, and this was absolutely a no-brainer to me, was Will Friend. 10 years in our system, top 25% offensive line coach. And I saw on the social media, you know, he when State hired him, all the Auburn fans are like, blah, 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 blah. God, fans are such jerks. I mean, seriously. You know, this guy's done it at a high level everywhere. Even Auburn, I bet you didn't know this, and maybe I told it to you, but Auburn last year was number 5 in the country behind number 4 TCU in explosive runs in 2022.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm saying that because guess who's coaching that offensive line? Guess who's calling those plays? So, you know, bringing in Will Friend and the veteran presence, I think we got to look at too situationally. We got a new head coach, young head coach, and I think bringing in a veteran perspective. Knox has SEC experience. Friend has SEC experience. You kind of see where I'm going with this. I mean, some of these pieces of the puzzle fit a little tighter maybe because of what they're bringing to the table overall, not just their ability to coach. So love Friend. Schmidt, younger guy. He's graded a little bit lower than Friend. But you're bringing him in as tight end coach, maybe tackle coach as well. So you're really focusing on that offensive line. So Barbe, too young to grade. He has 2 years under his belt. We have him labeled as a rising star because they've been 2 very good years. Okay, but sample size isn't ginormous, so I don't like getting too far over my skis saying he's going to be great or otherwise, simply because we got 2 years under the belt there. But offensively, everything has pretty much been upgraded across the board from a unit standpoint. So I'm excited about that side of the football for y'all.
Dave Bartoo on the Out of Bounds show. I don't have it in front of me. What do you call your coaching deal? Your coaching company?
Just Matrix Analytical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matrix Analytical, Dave Bartoo on the Patron Tequila guest line. And Bartoo's going to come in town in April, and we're going to do a whirlwind tour and take him to the Golden Moon Casino Sportsbook and drink Patron Tequila and have a ton of fun. All right. Anything else? Dave Turner's on the D-line. That's another veteran. Oh, real quick for our listeners. Yeah, Greg Knox.
We got another.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Here's what I look at with Greg Knox. Mm-hmm. Tommy Tuberville hired Greg Knox at Ole Miss, then took him to Auburn with him. Then Dan, I think, eventually got him to Mississippi State. And 2 guys in the last 40 years who did a good job hiring coaches for the most part were Tuberville and Dan. And Bartoo had been talking about Knox long before Arnett hired Knox. Several years ago, he was talking about Knox and special teams and running backs and so on. Kind of like how much he loves like a Derek Nix at Ole Miss. All right. Dave Turner, what do you think their D-line coach at Mississippi State?
Another solid bet. Right? I mean, it's kind of in the mold of Will Friend on the offense and defensive lines. And he's familiar with Mississippi State. He's familiar with the state of Mississippi recruiting. And that's another thing that I think is underrated right now, because with Ole Miss so heavy in the transfer portal, I know a lot's been written about that, right? And everybody seems to be excited about it. But see, every guy you bring in the transfer portal, you're unplugging recruiting connectivity somewhere else because you don't need to work as hard, right? So I see Ole Miss bringing in a lot of transfers, but I also see a lot of disconnectivity on high school recruiting. And last year, high school, if you just look at high school recruiting last year, the best high school recruiters won 76% of the football games. So don't get too happy in the transfer portal for too long, because not only do you not have cultural continuity, you're disconnecting your recruiting paths, your natural recruiting paths, because you're sacrificing that for the ease of the transfer portal. I think the transfer portal can make guys really lazy in looking at the short term. You bring in Turner, familiar with the state of Mississippi. You bring in Knox, familiar with the state of Mississippi. Your guy Bumpus should be able to open up every front and back door in every high school in the state as well. So, I think there is, inside the coaching, there's also the experience of being able to recruit in the state.
Okay.
Don't miss one moment of the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Weekdays, 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. on ESPN 105.9. The Zone.